Good evening and welcome to the Family Museum. I'm Bob Gallagher, the mayor of the city of Bettendorf, and on behalf of our city council and our department heads, it's my pleasure to welcome you here for our ribbon cutting and grand opening of The Sky's the Limit. We have lots of representation here from the city, but first I would like to thank the staff of the Family Museum for the wonderful work they do on behalf of this community. So if you could join me in a round of applause to the staff at the Family Museum, I'd appreciate it. I'd also like to thank the board and the foundation for making this possible. I had the opportunity to office next to Gary for 10 years. I knew him in that capacity, a professional capacity. I knew him as a volunteer in our community, and this is a very fitting evening and a very fitting display of thanks. So Gary is a wonderful man who has been and will continue to be missed. And on behalf of the chamber, we have a person to talk and to thank. His name is Adam Holland. Adam, would you come join me here? I'd like to turn the podium over to Adam Holland from the Quad City Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you very much. That's pretty difficult to follow. But again, I would just like to thank everybody that helped make this possible on two fronts. Personally, my daughter over here, as well as my son, who I think is over there, probably already making a mess of something. Really enjoy coming here, spending time. It's really a great amenity for the community. So personally, I would just like to thank everyone who helped make this happen. Professionally, you might have seen that there has been a new endeavor launched, Q2030, Regional Vision. Has 4 pillars. First one is cool. Anybody that's ever been here and seen all the kids playing, that's pretty cool. So we cover that. Creative. There are the exhibits inside that cover the musical instruments, the learning. That's creativity that the kids are using to help make this happen. Connected. Some of the other exhibits inside. The pizza restaurant, the mail room, different exhibits that help kids work together, learn how to be connected. Final is prosperous. By doing all these and the lifelong learning process, these children are going to be prosperous. And I, again, just want to thank everybody that had a hand in making this happen. Thank you.
Well, and also all the families who donated to our donor wall, You Bought a Piece of the Farm. It was our big annual appeal to help raise funds for this fabulous outdoor structure. So we appreciate you buying a piece of corn or a sheep or a cat or anything. So we really appreciate that. We would not, again, be able to do this without your support. So thank you to all of our donors. So as we look behind me, we have this fabulous airplane. We chose this theme because of Gary Aronson, longtime board member here at the museum. He was on our board of trustees, also on our foundation board, and he was instrumental in getting the referendum passed so that we could even build this building, which opened back in '97. So I'm going to introduce one of his co-workers, Nate Stofferton. So he's going to come up here and say a few words about Gary and some of what he was involved in.
Thank you, Kim. So I had the good fortune of working with Gary for about 10 years at Morgan Stanley, and he was just such a wonderful guy. And my real job here is actually just to introduce his wife, Laura, who I will introduce in just a minute, the most important speaker of the night. Gary had a few things that he was passionate about, more than a few, but 2 that really stood out to me, and one of them was the Family Museum. He spent a lot of time here. He put a lot of time and effort into the planning. Just really loved it. The other one was racquetball. I played a lot of racquetball with Gary. It was a lot of fun. I used to say I ran circles around Gary. Gary would stand in the middle, and I would run around him trying to get the balls that he had. He was really good. So I'll keep my part of this short. What I'd like to do is just thank everybody for coming out on behalf of Morgan Stanley, and I'd like to bring up Laura Aronson.
I'm going to cheat. I have some notes because of my nerves. But I was very blessed to share 35 wonderful years with Gary. And there were 2 things in particular that he was had very strong opinions about. He was very, very proud of his Norwegian heritage. And he never, ever, ever hesitated to unleash his Viking. This helmet he wore very proudly, and now I do. He strongly believed that knowledge is a never-ending pursuit. He lived most of his life as a youth out of the country in places such as Rabat, Morocco, and Misawa, Japan, and he did not have television. So Gary became a voracious reader of anything he could get his hands on that was nonfiction. It was instilled in him and his two younger brothers, Dan and John, since they were very, very young, that knowledge is power, and that education would be an incredible resource for life. I know this is why he loved the mission of this family museum. It offers both unique and educational experiences for children and families. As many of you know, Gary grew up in an Air Force environment. His father was career Air Force for nearly 30 years, and his brother graduated an officer from the United States Air Force Academy and became a B-52 commander. On the grounds of the United States Air Force Academy, there is a statue of a fledgling and an eagle, and inscribed on that statue are these words: "Man's flight through life is sustained by the power of his knowledge." And that's what's found on the airplane as you came in. This quote captured both Gary's love of aviation and emphasis on the importance of education. Our daughter Alicia and I, as well as Gary's brothers Dan and John, and the rest of our families, many who are here with me tonight, cannot adequately express our gratitude for creating this beautiful playground that is welcoming, safe, and fun for children. Thank you to all of you who generously donated, not only financially, but with your support and your time. I would especially like to thank the staff of the Family Museum, Bettendorf city officials, and last but certainly not least, my Morgan Stanley family. Knowing that Gary's legacy lives on in this institution that he so loved just really warms our hearts. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. We really appreciate those heartfelt words. There really are so many things that various staff members remember about Gary, so it's hard to put them all together, so I appreciate you speaking. So guess what, kids? It's just about time to play. Are you excited? Okay. Woo.
On the count of 3, cut the ribbon. 1, 2, 3.